Good morning. I'm Lieutenant Larry Carmichael, Social Services Officer for Sacramento, joined with...
And I'm Major John Brackenberry, Divisional Commander for the Del Oro Division, and we are so excited to be here today with you live on Facebook to share with you some of the great events and things that are taking place here in Sacramento.
Also joined with...
Christina Kitchen. I am the Salvation Army Center of Hope Emergency Shelter Supervisor.
We are so glad to have you here today and for all that you do here at this shelter at B Street. So thank you for what you do and for the lives that are being changed here in this program, in this facility.
Thank you.
As Major John mentioned, we are at our shelter. We're at our Center of Hope here in the downtown area of Sacramento. This facility serves greater than 100 people per night in moving people from homelessness to self-sustainability. But we're really here to talk about the Big Day of Giving because we are 1 week away from the Big Day of Giving. Just 1 week, 7 days. But don't worry, your giving can start now. You can go to bigdaysac.org, make a donation, and help us reach out for our goal of $250,000. Now, Major John, why are we trying to raise $250,000?
Well, the reason why we're raising $250,000, and that's just the goal. I mean, we can go well beyond that dollar amount. And the reason why is because those dollars are integral to our programs and services here in Sacramento County. This facility, for example, B Street Shelter, helps men and women move beyond homelessness into self-sufficiency. And that's just one program. We have after-school programs. We have low-cost programs for children that are in need of nursery care. We've got a gym program. We've got senior programs. We have a transitional living shelter that helps people as well move out of homelessness into self-sufficiency. So your dollars are so important to us. The dollars that you give to us, the time that you give as well in volunteering really helps us to help more people day in and day out. And so that's why we're here. That's why we need your support. We need you to help us raise as much money as possible to help all of those individuals that we see day in and day out at the Salvation Army.
It's true. So much happens here in Sacramento on a daily basis. In just 2020, we served over 109,000 Sacramentans in that 1 year. Unduplicated count. So those 109,000 might have come to us for food a handful of times, but we counted them once. The 1 in 15 Sacramentans during this pandemic have reached out to the Salvation Army to receive assistance. Now, one of the things that we love is that we've been able to continue on our services in our shelters. Obviously, COVID, it's a high spread virus. And so operating a congregate shelter has its dangers, but we thought it was important. And so we stay committed. You, our donors, helped us stay committed as well in giving of time and money, energy, efforts, plodding on. And I also want to really applaud our shelter supervisor, Christina. Perhaps we can ask you a couple questions.
Absolutely.
So how did you become our shelter supervisor?
So originally, I was a product of Salvation Army. So I myself went through the Salvation Army program about 14 years ago. I suffered from methamphetamine addiction for over 15 years before gaining help through Salvation Army.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
And that's what the Salvation Army is all about, is helping to transform people's lives and get them into a sense of self-worth and understanding that there is a better life than what they may be currently living in. And that's why your dollars and donations are so important, to help individuals to go beyond and to see life in a different light. And these programs help people do that. And so
absolutely, and I found that. I definitely found that in the Salvation Army. I learned that I didn't have to be the guilt and the shame that I thought that I was, and that I could forgive myself.
Fantastic. And you've been able to transform your life, and now
absolutely.
You're giving back and helping others to transform their lives as well. So the big day of giving for you is giving back even more to the men and women that come into this shelter each and every day.
Absolutely.
And the Salvation Army's programs and services around this division, and particularly here in Sacramento, do that every single day. We help to transform people's lives. That's why your donations, that's why your support is so important. Even now, during this pandemic, it has been really a challenge for us, not even from a programmatic standpoint, but from a fundraising standpoint as well. That's why your involvement, your support for the big day of giving is so vitally important to our programs and services, to the men and women, boys and girls that we see coming through our doors every single day.
Christina, perhaps you could share with us, in your position, what kind of a day in the life looks like for you, and then what is our service model here? What do we provide to our customer clients as they come in the door?
Okay, so a day in the life of Christina at the shelter is very chaotic some days not so much. We try to help every single person that comes through our doors. Even if it's something that we can't provide you, we're going to try to connect you to resources available in the community that can help you. So that's kind of what a day-to-day is like. The services that we provide at the shelter is case management, so sometimes daily case management. We provide meals, we provide a nice bed, linen, laundry services, transportation, direct connections to Sacramento Steps Forward and the HMIS program. We're going to try to connect you with job, employment, training, whatever we can connect you with. We're going to do all of that while you're here at the shelter.
And so how do people come to the shelter? How does somebody, if they're out there or they know somebody, how do they come into the shelter here?
So currently we are direct referral for most of our beds. We have a couple of contracts, one with Veterans Administration. So many of those will come direct referral from the VA. They'll go to the VA, they're homeless, the homeless walk-in clinic there, and then the VA will call us and say, hey, we need a bed for this gentleman or female, and then they'll send them straight over. But we also have them that walk right in out of the streets. They'll come in and say, I'm a veteran, and it's a matter of a few minutes. We can call the VA, get them verified, and then get them set up with the bed.
Yeah.
We also have a couple of contracts with Kaiser Permanente, and those again are direct referrals, so they're sent directly here.
And the thing that I'm sensing and hearing from you and wanted to share with everybody who's watching is that the Salvation Army works directly with other people, with other agencies, with other corporations and foundations. We partner together with individuals to help as many people as possible. And it's through those relationships that allow us to continue to serve as many people as we possibly can.
Absolutely. I think that's how we're going to address the homeless crisis, is a community.
Absolutely.
We can't do it individually.
We can't, and that's where everybody comes together to help. And again, we go back to that's why your support, whether it's through volunteering, whether it's through donations, is vital for the Salvation Army to continue to do the work that we do each and every day. Now, Lieutenant Larry has mentioned it, and I've sort of talked about it as well, but the pandemic, I mean, obviously it's an issue. We're still dealing with that to some extent here right now. What has that done for you in the shelter? How has that changed how you do things?
Well, it did have a pretty dramatic effect on us here at the shelter. Because of the contracts that we have with the VA administration, they felt that it would be better to move the clients out of shelter environment congregate living into motel rooms. So they did take a large portion of our veterans out and place them in motels, which lowered our census. And we're just now starting to see them kind of trickle back in.
Yeah.
So it's had a very big impact on us.
It's had a big impact, but we're still serving. We're still meeting the needs of people that are coming to us.
Absolutely. And if I could share, some of our veterans here actually chose, I don't want to go to a motel. I'd rather stay here. So we did have some that this was the environment for them, and we continue to take in those that were open to congregant living.
Exactly, and those comments right there speak to the programmatic services that the Salvation Army offers. It's not just a bed that people stay in. The programs, services that we provide through the client management and case management that we do, and just the relationships are built. People feel safe here. They want to stay here because life is a lot safer here, and they have a sense of direction and a sense of hope that they may not have on the other side of these gates and in the river.
Absolutely.
So thank you and applaud you and your staff for all that you do, because it's a magnificent job that you're doing, but it's also a part of a ministry of reaching out and touching people's lives.
I personally want to thank you for your leadership, Christina. Through this pandemic and even well before it, you do help us make sure that this is a true center of hope for those that are needing
Absolutely.
hope. And even in the midst of the pandemic, 63% of everyone that came to be our guest has moved on to self-sufficiency, on to permanent housing. So we didn't stop transforming lives because of a virus. We kept moving in, moving forward.
Definitely.
Now, here in the Sacramento area, we have not just this housing facility, but we have 3. We have our Raleigh Transitional Living Center for families. It helps 34 families at a time move from homelessness to self-sustainability. We have our Next Step Transitional Living Center, which is for it's single adults that are looking for a sober living environment. They've finished substance abuse counseling or treatment, and now they're just needing a place to rebuild their lives. And so we're excited about that program. It's located also here in the downtown. Of course, we have the Center of Hope right here. And for those that might be watching, our program here, it costs only $37 a night for us to provide food, shelter, case management, behavioral health, a connection to behavioral health, connection to regular physical health.
Yes.
That we also always provide spiritual and emotional care to those that are seeking it. The $37 a night, what an affordable way to transform a life, right?
Absolutely.
And just saying that right there, $37, anybody can help.
Yeah.
The dollars that you give in supporting, $37 gives a person a night's lodging in a safe, loving environment where they're able to have access to all of these programs.
It's true. And if $37 is too much, well, what about $11.50? Because that's the price per person for our Raleigh Transitional Living Center for families. $11.50 gives them, as a household, as a family, connection to a social worker, to where they can rebuild all the infrastructure of their life, receive financial case management, financial training, parental training, after-school tutoring, and the list goes on in that really neat environment that we call the Raleigh Transitional Living Center. And that program itself, it has a success rate of 95%. 95% of all the families that enter our doors at Raleigh leave into permanent self-sustaining households. And when we track them 2 years out, 5 years out, they're still successful. They're still on forward in independence.
That's an amazing statistic.
It is. I absolutely love all of our programs, but I have to tell you, when I see little kids running around the playground, feeling free and like they have a safe place to be,
Safe.
my heart just melts.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Here, just a short couple blocks away, we do have our Next Step program, which I mentioned, sober living environment, but it also has our workforce development training programs. So those that come to us that are needing to be retrained for a new career in life, that's fine. We can help them with that. Get them into the construction trades. Any 26 major trades here in the Sacramento area, we can help them go through a pre-apprenticeship and get on their feet and on to career success. Or our culinary arts program, where we will literally train them and give them the tools that they need to enter in as prep cook in the amazing restaurants that Sacramento gets to call home to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Major John, I think that you're going to get to share with us a little bit about Sharon's story, or?
Yes, you're talking about Raleigh Transitional Housing, and I have to say that my wife and I were here many years ago in Sacramento, and this was one of the programs that we had started talking about and laying the foundation. And to be able to come back these many years later and to actually see what this facility looks like is an amazing thing, and to know that, to see something come through. But there's a story that we want you to watch, and this is a story of Sharon, who was a mother and stayed at the Raleigh house. There's a video we want you to watch, and it tells of her story. So please watch Sharon's story.
Hi, I'm Sharon. And I'm Nicholas. I was in a tent in the river bottoms and juggling my son back and forth to school and between friends' house because I was afraid of losing him.
I liked going to my friends, and I had a lot of friends down at the river too, but it wasn't the greatest.
Just happened to be away from my son and not be able to, make his owies better or to tuck him in. It's just not where I pictured my life going, and I didn't want to raise my son like that. it's kind of funny. We walked in and I just cried. It was so nice. It was nothing that I was expecting. It just looked like a normal apartment complex. From the outside, somebody looking in, they wouldn't know that it was a treatment center. And they helped with food if I need it. They would help me with appointments and transportation if I needed it. It's very helpful.
They're awesome. When we go down there, they're always happy to see us. They ask us how we're doing, and yeah, I really appreciate it.
I would go down and she would ask me, the instructor here or my counselor, "How are you today?" And I was like, I'm good. I can't quit smiling. My face hurts, and it was silly, but it was the truth. It's like I never smiled so much in my life. Just to get a job and to get back on my feet is mainly all they've asked of me so far. I think I've got the knowledge. I just need to use it and keep using it. It's just me and him, and having the opportunity to turn my life around again, just to have him have a better life is awesome. The person that they first let in here was not the person that I am, or I'm glad not to be anymore. It was a struggle, and just with a little help, just see where I became, or see what other people can become. Because not everybody's bad, or not everybody wants that lifestyle. They just need a little bit of help.
What an amazing story of the Salvation Army's transformative power through our programs and services. Sharon's story is an inspiration to me and to many others, just because of the fact that this is what we do. This is why we do what we do, is to see lives being transformed, for individuals to get a sense of hope and to be able to move on and to be able to become self-sufficient again, and to be, to just have this environment where she and her son are now safe and they're in a home. I know I'm Major John Brackenberry, Divisional Commander for the Del Oro Division, and with me here is
Lieutenant Larry Carmichael, Social Services Officer for Sacramento County.
And we also have with us Christina Kitchen, who is our Shelter Services Director.
Emergency Shelter Supervisor.
She deals with all of the stuff here at B Street. But Larry, tell us a little bit more about Sharon.
So here's an update about Sharon's story. She did come to us January of 2020, so just before the onset of the pandemic, but she hasn't let that slow her down from rebuilding her life. The community there at Raleigh from time to time will go ahead and vote themselves a mayor, who is the mayor of Raleigh and gets to be the public representative for that program. So when donors come and want a tour, or new families are being received, that she's the first one out the door to welcome them, to receive them, to tell the story. But beyond that, her and her son are just now a couple months away from moving into their own forever home. So we've seen her blossom,
Amazing.
we've seen her grow, we've seen her take on leadership, and now they're planning the next chapter that's going to be them being 100% independent and probably reaching out to even more families, because Sharon's committed to seeing other families move from the river and into a housing.
I could see her being mayor of that campus.
Oh, absolutely.
And just, taking charge and letting people know what we do in that building day in and day out, how it's transformed her life. And that's why this whole thing right now, what we're doing is to inspire you to be able to help us continue to transform lives like Sharon's each and every day.
So Big Day of Giving, it's now just 1 week away. 1 week, 7 days, but you don't have to wait until May 6th to financially give, to help us continue on this mission of transforming lives, bringing homeless to self-sufficiency, giving food to those that need it, giving emergency shelter, housing, basketball programs done safely outdoors right now, our daycare in the Oak Park area. That's literally allowing families to get back to work and to support their families. Our after-school tutoring programs in Rancho Cordova, helping kids overcome the academic stresses of stuff that maybe even their parents don't know or don't even know how to help their child with, because it's been years since the parent themselves has had to learn that math or teach that math, right? So we have an amazing amount of stuff going on here in Sacramento. We want to invite you to join us next week on Thursday on the Big Day of Giving, where we're going to have 4 live segments. In the morning, we're going to get to celebrate our just an amazing donor, amazing partner in this work, Tri-Counties Bank and their Vice President, Scott Robinson. The Tri-Counties Bank, they have helped us meet human disaster with nothing short of hope and love. And they've helped us rebuild lives in Butte County. They've helped us rebuild lives in Sutter County, and they're helping us rebuild lives here in Sacramento. So we want to give them their own special time, their own appreciation next Thursday morning. And then following that, throughout the day, we're going to have 3 other segments where we're going to look at the current issues of Sacramento: housing insecurity, job insecurity, and food insecurity, and how the Salvation Army, in partnership with the community, are fighting those needs. How we're winning this county to make sure lives are changed, that houses are stabilized, that we can stop the snowball effect. You know, the best way to keep someone out of the best way to keep someone out of homelessness is to keep them out of homelessness.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get them their utility bill covered. Help them pay their rent. Help them catch up from months where they've been sitting at home waiting for a phone call to come back to work. And we're so blessed to have the donor base that we have, to have the supporters that we have, to have the volunteers that we have to make it happen, to make it work. So plan to join us. Click the like on Facebook or turn on the notifications on YouTube. Make sure you tune in. I think that you're going to find an amazing amount of information and wealth from community partners, from community specialists that have chosen to join us on the Big Day of Giving to help tell the story of what the need is and how we're working together to meet it.
Absolutely. And those supportive services that you spoke about, that's key.
Yes.
That keeps families in their homes to prevent them from becoming homelessness in the first place. So the rent and utility assistance, the food assistance, and all of that kind of stuff that the Salvation Army does each and every day and has done so for years and years really is the preventative to keep people off the streets and out of homelessness to begin with.
Yes.
But if something should happen, then we have those programs and services as well.
We do.
To help those individuals. And that's, again, what this Big Day of Giving is all about. And it's why we're on Facebook Live right now, is to share with you what we are doing and why your help and support is so vitally needed. Not just the monetary, but also the volunteer opportunities that we have each and every day, as that helps to cut down costs as well. Any amount that you are able to give is so appreciative. It really and truly goes to help people and to help see lives transform. That's what it's all about. That's why we're here. That's why we do what we do, because we get to see lives that are changed each and every day. You get to see it every day.
Absolutely. I got to experience it.
And you experience it as well. And so she's
Absolutely.
giving back in that capacity each and every day, and it's such a great thing. So, like Lieutenant Larry said, like us on Facebook at the Salvation Army of Northern California Facebook page. You don't have to wait until May 6th, a week from today, to be able to give. Any donation that you're able to give, even now, helps the programs and services continue to give back into this community. So, make your gift even now, or you can give at bigdaysac.org. That's a week from now, and help us raise the goal of $250,000. I want to see us blow that goal out of the water. I want to see us make so much money that we are able to give back into this community and really say that the Salvation Army is here to offer hope to individuals who truly and desperately need it. That's why we are here. That's why we do what we do each and every day. And we just want to say, on behalf of Lieutenant Larry and on behalf of Christina, thank you so much for joining us right here, right now. It's because of you that we are able to do what we do. You, those individuals who give to us and support us financially and through volunteer efforts, you are what allow the Salvation Army to continue working day in and day out. You are the army behind the army, and we want to say thank you so much for all that you do to support us in this capacity. Remember, the Big Day of Giving, bigdaysac.org. I'll get that right, bigdaysac.org. A week from today, but your donations today can help as well. Thank you so much. God bless all of you, and help us to continue to help support and to change and to transform people's lives here in Sacramento. God bless you.